Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We're at 14605 Northeast Mulligan Court here in Aurora. We're located on the left side of the house. That's as you're standing facing the front door from the street. So we're near the back left corner. Line exits out the left side, but we're about, maybe 10 feet back in from that corner. 3-inch ABS clean out. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line up to the tank connection. Water's running. We'll try and zero out the base of the clean out. Off we go. Well, my foot counter's being a little funny here. We'll try and reset that when we pull back in, if it's meaningful at all to do it. Line's transitioning here immediately upon access over to PVC pipe. We've got some amount of standing water right after the transition, but it's very minor. We'll look at that when the line's drained out at the end, but it looks like a very short-lived little belly. Another joint we'll look at as we come back in too. That joint's got some movement taking place there. Got an offset and a looks like a separation. And this right here appears to be where the tanks connect, or the line hits the tank. It's only a pretty short distance away, maybe 15-20 feet. We do indeed have some standing water going on. We'll drain the line out here so we can get a look at how significant it is once the line's drained off. We've got a couple joints there that appear separated and or offset. Foot counter doesn't want to work. Let's see if that fixes the problem or not. There we go. All right, we can at least count backwards so I can get you a total footage length here.
And how deep is I'm squirting. Are we going to be digging around?
All right, so I have roughly marked this spot with white paint. It's underneath a rose bush. It's difficult to get to. So we've got about 1 inch of standing water right as we approach the tank. It's actually more than that. We're actually getting into about 2 inches of water here. And there is debris hitting the top of the pipe, indicating that it's at least overloaded and filled all the way up. All right, so we just went past both an offset joint and a separation there. The separation in particular appears to be open to the ground. The offset may be as well. It's just harder to tell in some of those cases because the flow line is in that area and the water can wash any dirt evidence away. Talking to myself with the mic turned off there. All right, so we're back to the transition joint here to PVC. There's a little tiny belly just in front of us there, maybe 2 feet in length. It's holding about a 1/16 quarter inch of water. That belly on its own there is not something I would recommend a repair on, typically speaking. And I wouldn't necessarily on this one unless the repair companies think the repair needs to come back to this point in order to get enough grade to correct everything. So on its own, not something I'm terribly concerned about at all. I don't usually recommend repairs on bellies until you're getting into the inch category. But because of how shallow the line is, you may have to take this repair back further than just the dimensions of the belly. So I am recommending at least that last 11, 12 feet of the line get updated there or corrected due to the standing water issues, the offset separated joint. And I recommend rescoping afterwards to check the work. So I've marked out the sections there of concern. I'm going to put a marking down right here, or try to, just so any repair companies coming out here can see where they may have to come all the way back to. I wouldn't be surprised at all. The nice part is the line here is about 1.5 to 2.5 feet deep. It's very easy to get to, and it's all under dirt. No concrete or anything. All right, I put a rough white marking. It's a very hard spot to locate because of the big bush we're underneath. But that transition sits just in front of the PVC, or the clean out. So you'll see a white marking back there by the clean out, and then you'll see the rest of it out here in the yard. Line starts heading towards the left side fence line, and as it starts to go underneath this rose bush here, it turns, and right where that bird feeder is at, the tank lid's sitting underneath there. Markings will stop about, in fact, that marking I'm looking at right now is where the line hits the tank. So this section right here is where the standing water issues are at, the bad joints. But again, I think there's a very good chance you're going to have to take it back to where the clean out is, just because of the depths you're working with. Make sure after the line is repaired, it gets rescoped, and you want to do that when the trench is closed, especially on a line that's more prone to bellying because of the shallowness of it. You want to make sure there's a load on top of the line before calling it a day. Until that point, everything's in theory. You're not going to know if you're going to have any settling issues afterwards.